Good day, all. Welcome to another edition of Raw Interviews. My name is Charles Gates from locallegislator.net, where our mission is to be the premier source of local election information in the United States and an advocate for the sustainability of local businesses nationwide. This morning, we are joined by the incomparable Legal Shield guru, Mr. Owen Norris. How are you, Mr. Norris?
I'm doing wonderful, Mr. Charles. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, fantastic. For our listening audience out there, this live broadcast is brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, with a different guest every day that is geared to educate you and everyone in your circle of influence, to include myself. If you ever wanted to know about how to afford legal representation and all of those little innuendos, this gentleman here is going to answer a lot of that for us. So let us start by, Owen, let me ask you this question. How did you become involved with Legal Shield, and when did you become a full-time associate?
So my track to Legal Shield came by way of corporate America snatching the rug from under my feet twice, right? The first incident was a company I was with for about 7 years, and we just got a call one day, said we're no longer in business. That was in 2004. A couple years later, got involved in the mortgage industry, towards the tail end of the boom. And then when that crashed, again, corporate America, snatching the rug out. So I said, I'm never going to put myself in this position again. But during that time, I was introduced to Legal Shield and was working it part-time. And then when the came to the end of the mortgage boom, I said, well, I'm going to do this full-time. And that was right at the beginning of 2011. And never looked back since then.
Interesting. Now, many of us out here have heard of Legal Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a general overview of Legal Shield, and is it affordable for the average person?
Let me answer the second one first, and the answer to that is unequivocally yes, right? Whenever I get asked that question, I try to frame it in a somewhat different, frame, because most of us, the average person, doesn't understand what a legal service plan is or what it does. So I try to frame it in the context of looking at it, how we view our legal system and how the wealthy view the legal system, right? So we tend to view our legal system in terms of its use only from the perspective of we're either in trouble, right? There's some trouble, or there's a specific situation that has happened. It's like a one and done kind of thing. And then we also believe, and which it is, our legal system is expensive. So we tend to not get involved with it. And when we don't get involved with it, we don't understand it. And then we tend to fear what we don't understand. So we are intimidated by it, right? So that's how the average person deals with our legal system. The wealthy deal with the legal system from one perspective, and one perspective only. They see it as protection. They see it as protecting what they work hard for, right? So if you kind of look at it now, if you see that, and now look at what the wealthy do versus what we do in terms of just life from a simple standpoint, we really do the same things, right? The wealthy, they have their families, their jobs, their businesses, their homes, their homes, their possessions. They're involved with people, places, and things they're engaged in life, right? Who do they call? So the question is, who do they call on to help protect what they work hard for? They call attorneys, simply to help them make good decisions in terms of life in general, right? Now let's look at us. We do the exact same thing. We have our families, our jobs, our businesses, our home, our possessions. We're involved with people, places, and things. We're engaged in life. Who do we call to help protect what we work hard for? Well, we certainly don't call attorneys, because that $300 to $500 an hour price tag prices us out of the market, right? And so what Legal Shield does is corrects that imbalance. We take the cost factor out of the equation. So now people just like you and I can pick up a phone anytime they want, call a law firm, ask questions, get answers, advice, and a whole host of other services that are designed to protect us and what we work hard for, the same way the wealthy call attorneys to protect what they work hard for. And if one can understand that perspective as to why they would want to look at some service like Legal Shield, then the rest is gravy, because most of us know what attorneys do. I don't necessarily have to explain what attorneys do. We kind of know what they do, right? We just have to understand the why. Why would I want to pay monthly for a service like Legal Shield? And I've never used attorneys before, but there's so many things people can use attorneys for in practically everyday life.
Mm. Very interesting indeed. We do get into altercations, and sometimes we know that we should get representation, but we overlook it and say, well, you know, it's not really that big a deal. I really don't want to spend that money with something that may not end up with the results that I'm looking for. Now, let me ask you on that note, what does Legal Shield offer individuals and families?
Okay. I could go down the whole list of things that are offered. I'll just hit on a couple of them. Let's start with just unlimited consultation, just questions, right? You have questions about, should I go right? Should I go left, up or down, right? Just questions that you want to ask an attorney. So that's unlimited consultations. How many times do we sign things that we have absolutely no idea what's in it, right? We start reading these documents, and the moment we get to pursuant to code, this, that, the other, our brains shut down because we don't understand that language. But yet we will sign it anyway, with no idea what we're putting our signature on. So we can have people just send those documents to attorneys to have them reviewed before they sign them. Family matters. Automobile situations like traffic tickets, right? We can have attorneys go to court to represent you in traffic tickets with no additional cost, right? I mean, there's some stipulations on it, but for the most part, no additional cost. Emergency access, 24/7 emergency access to an attorney. What if we are pulled over for a traffic violation Saturday night at 11 p.m., right? And we're encountering, let me say this, let me preface this. We know, right, that most police officers do a great job. There are a few that don't. They're either having a bad day, whatever, right? And we encounter that officer, right? Well, we may think we know our rights, but we don't. So how valuable would it be to, for example, for a mother or father to have, if their child is out, 16, 17, 18 years old, and they encounter a police officer just for routine traffic stop? We don't know the mood of that police officer at that particular time, but how great would it be for that person to be able to get an attorney on the phone before they even get to your car window? So that if you are encountering one that's having a bad day or has some biases, right? That you can have that attorney on the phone to guide you through that situation, because, now you have somebody that's watching out for your rights, right? So, and there's many, many other things. Another great, this is one I always talk about too, in terms of value. Being able to get a will, living will, healthcare power of attorney done. That's included in the service. I mean, if you just Google cost of a will, now listen, I'm not talking about the templated ones you can download. I'm talking about having an actual attorney prepare the will for you. On average, it's going to be about $600 to $1,000 per person. So if you got a couple, you're looking at, could be as much as $2,000, right? But those things are included in our service at no additional cost. So, and that's something that someone could could enroll in the service today and get their will done tomorrow. At least get it started. It'll be done within 10 days. But that's something they can do right away. So, and that would pay for the service, my goodness, for about 4 or 5 years. So it's an incredible amount of value, right? And there's many other things that are included. And one last thing on the family side is that minimal cost will cover not only the person who enrolls in the service, but it also covers the spouse or significant other, any unmarried dependent children up to the age of 18, up to the age of 26 living at home, or full-time college students that's never been married or no children. If they have guardianship over any children up to the age of 18, and any physically or mentally challenged children up to any age living at home. So that one small nominal monthly fee covers all of those folks, right? So it's a tremendous amount of value. I tell people like this: for what you would pay for an attorney for 1 hour of consultation, you could pay for a whole year of our service. Wow. So it's that valuable, that inexpensive.
That says it in a nutshell. Now, from a business standpoint, let's say an entrepreneur like myself, does Legal Shield offer services for me?
Absolutely. We have service plans that cover entrepreneurs from the solopreneur up to businesses with up to 100 employees. I'm talking about the legal plan. There's another product that we offer businesses in terms of in the area of employee benefits. But to cover the business, it's as little as about $35 a month, up to about $189 a month, depending on the number of employees, right? So those things cover the legal needs of a business owner. Consultation, contract review, debt collection, court representation, if you're being sued, and many other things, right? So the legal needs that a business owner would want to have access to, excuse me, without spending an arm and a leg in a traditional system.
Okay. Now, what about your role as an associate? You're in Virginia. Are you the only Legal Shield representative in the state of Virginia, or how does that work, and how does your role work?
Okay. So, no, I'm not the only Legal Shield representative in Virginia. There's many of us. We're not confined to any particular territory. Our plans cover all 50 states, all of Canada, and we're now over in the UK. So there's like I said, many independent associates in the area, all of whom do a fantastic job. So if you know somebody, if anyone in the listening audience knows someone that's an associate with Legal Shield, reach out to them. Just maybe get a second look at it if they've seen it before and was like, because they quite didn't get it, right? Hopefully, I'm bringing a little more understanding as to the why. A lot of times that why question doesn't get answered, right? So hopefully I'm bringing a better understanding as to the why. So reach out to them. If not, I'm here.
I understand why now. Now, let's say I'm an attorney in mom and pop town, USA, and I wanted my firm to become involved with Legal Shield. How would I go about that?
Oh, simple process. We would help put that attorney in contact with the law firm that services the area, and it's basically submitting a resume in simplified explanation of it. So it's not hard, and they're always wanting to talk to law firms in different areas, because we have the way our service works is we have what's called a provider law firm. So all calls go to that law firm first. That law firm handles most of what our members are dealing with. But for example, in the case of going to traffic court, well, our provider law firm is in Richmond. They're not going to send an attorney down here to Virginia Beach to go to traffic court. So we contract with local attorneys to handle things on a local basis. if need be.
Okay.
So we're always want to talk to good qualified. Notice I said qualified,
Right.
right? I'm not going to get into the, try to explain how attorneys are rated, but we want the highest rated law firms, okay,
Okay.
um, to partner with us. So it's an easy process.
Well, that sounds simple enough. And I'm sure that clarified a lot of people's wondering, how do you become involved with Legal Shield? Now, give us
Mhm.
some examples, Owen, if you would, of how Legal Shield, in your personal experience, has helped either an individual,
Mhm.
family, or a business.
Okay. Me personally, reading it wasn't too long ago, about 8 months ago, was dealing with a real estate issue. And simply from the council, several conversations. And again, I want everybody to put what I'm saying in and put that scenario in the traditional system, and you'll see how differently it works. Um, I had several conversations with the attorney I was dealing with at a law firm on a real estate issue. Long story short, just following the counsel of that attorney saved me $25,000.
$25,000.
Saved me 25 grand. All I did was follow his advice,
Wow.
right?
That's
I'm sure we had no less than probably close to 10 conversations. Traditional system would have cost me what? Thousands. It
thousands.
cost me nothing.
Mm.
Okay. Um, one example always love to use is we have a member whose um, wife was diagnosed with cancer. The very next day, his father has a major stroke. Okay, so going through the healing process, the chemo wasn't working, and I'm paraphrasing a lot. Is the chemo wasn't doing what it was supposed to do? So the doctors told him they had to put her on this patch. The patch kind of balanced things out. Well, and they told him that she needed 12 of them, and the patches cost $1,100 a piece.
Wow.
So he's like, okay, how am I going to do this? Just get them, because if not, she was going to die. Um, so on his way out of the hospital, he pulls out his phone. We have an app. All he did was pull out his phone, went to the app, called the law firm, told him what was going on. The law firm pulled out his healthcare plan, that which they already had because of a previous issue. They go through the plan, find that the patches are covered, called his um, healthcare company, and uh, by the time he got back to the hospital the next day, those patches, which were $1,100 a piece before, were now $20 a piece
Wait a minute, from 1100 to 20
to 20
within a matter of a phone call.
for research and a phone call.
Wow.
So let's put this in the traditional system. First of all, getting that kind of information, would the average person even think to call a law firm in that? Probably not, right? But let's say they did. Now, who are they going to call? They either have to know an attorney to call, or go into, I'm dating myself when I say this, but pull out the yellow pages and open, and open up the
Wow.
yellow pages to attorneys, and they're going to look for the one that has the double page ad because they're expensive, which means they must be good,
They must
right?
be.
They're not going to pick the attorney that's got the first name initial and the last name. That's all you see in a phone number. So you're not going to call that attorney, right? So, so the question, so who are they going to call? So now they've selected an attorney to call. Now they call that attorney. What makes you think that attorney is going to drop what they were doing to work this situation out for this guy who just called, and he's paid them no money? It would not work. It would have never worked that way in a traditional system, right?
Mm.
So I've covered, just in that one example, I've covered consultation, contract document review, and letters and phone calls made on the member's behalf. I've covered, those are three things that our plan covers that worked in that situation, and it didn't cost them anything. So in an indirect way, I guess you could say, we participated in helping to save her life. right?
That's quite the example.
Yeah. So now let's move to the dad, right? So mom is applying for Social Security. She applied 3 times, got turned down every time, right? So he finally has a conversation with his mother, and he says to her, "Mom, did you call the law firm?" Now she's thinking like the average person would think. Why would I call an attorney? Because they're denying the application for Social Security, right? So he says, call them anyway. So she finally calls. The attorney says, send us the application you've been filling out. And the moment they got the application, they said, "Man, no wonder they keep turning you down, because they keep giving you the wrong application." So they got her the correct application, guided her through filling it out, and within the given amount of time, got approved. His father got approved for the Social Security.
Now, had she not called, they would have continued to deny her.
Continued to deny it. Now, I know, in my mind, I'm thinking that's accidentally on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
right? Social Security is somewhat like insurance, you know what I mean? And insurance companies, it's not to disparage them, but if they can figure a way not to pay, they're not going to honor a claim. So why not have an attorney go to fight on your behalf?
Why not?
So
Why
as
not?
far as business concerned, example, one of my recent clients, a construction company, was doling out about 27 grand a year in legal fees for whatever it was he was doing. We came in, was able to reduce that by 90% and gave him 30% more in services.
Reduce with more services.
Reduced by 90% the cost and gave him 30% more in services.
It sounds like a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. So there's the things that we can do to help businesses out. I mean, I know one of the questions you're going to get to is talking about the pandemic.
Right.
So, right. So these small business owners have tons of questions. They don't it's this all this stuff is changing constantly, and one of the things that I think that where we have an advantage over other law firms is that, see, we service about 140,000 small business owners across the country, right? So we're getting all kinds of questions. So we are hearing it everything. So things that a business owner may not think of, we've gotten that question hundreds of times.
So you're able to render off a solution.
Yeah. So we are helping small business owners in this pandemic season, if you will, in a tremendous way. Think about it. A lot of them aren't doing any business or not, or just a little, but because of the cost of our service is so small, they can get that legal help with a fraction of what it would cost in the traditional system.
So in essence, you're offering peace of mind, even in this environment.
Peace of right now. We're talking about protecting families and businesses. Businesses have legal issues that they're dealing with, and so are employees. So the employees need the family service to be able to guide them through. Because, Charles, I don't care how you slice and dice this whole thing, everything is going to boil down to money. Right? Everything's going to boil down to money. So we have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of employees that need protection. Not saying that the employer is going to do them dirty, but because it's all about money, everybody's looking out for themselves. I'm not saying that business owners don't care about and look out for their employees, but you want to be able to the employees want to be able to have somebody that can fight for them, just like the employers want to be able to have an attorney to look out for their best interests as well.
Right. So both sides are thinking WIIFM, what's in it for me?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Owen Norris. It has been a pleasure talking to you today. And if people wanted to hear more about Legal Shield and get in touch with you, how would they go about that?
Okay, let me give you my phone number. Okay, the email address is very long. I'll say it, but just call or text. Call and text me directly. So my number is area code 757-287-8094. Again, it's 757-287-8094. If you want to email me, I'm going to say it. No, I'm going to spell it all out. But it's J.O. Norris, like Chuck Norris, Norris. So J.O. Norris at LegalShieldAssociate.com.
Okay. And if you did not get that, this is recorded. You could always play it back, put it back 15, 20 seconds, whatever you need to do. Get that information. Get in touch with Owen Norris. He is the best in the business. I can attest to that myself. He is a good man, honest man, a guy that's not going to beat around the bush. He's going to give it to you straight. And listeners, that is why we are here, to give it to you straight, where we simply want to educate you. I learned some things within the last few minutes, and I'm sure you did as well. Share this with your family and friends, and with your business consultants and legal uh, business colleagues out there and other people within your circle of interest. Share this information. This is why we do this every morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, right here on Facebook Live. Local Legislators bringing this to you. And join us tomorrow when we will have Yvonne Ortega, the author, coach, and speaker with the Moving from Broken to Beautiful mindset. And on Friday, we will have the incomparable Elliot Eddy, the inventor of the world's first and only STEM certified entrepreneurial board game. And Elliot has a book coming out this week. Get the heads up on that. Owen, thank you very much for being here. Again, I am your host, Charles Gates. This is local.legislators.net Raw Interview Series. If you are an elected politician, you're an aspiring politician out there who wants to get in office, you're a business or community leader, or you're the head of a nonprofit organization that is doing good work in the community that you think people need to know about, if there's issues or things going on, if you know how to organize a protest or anything at least of this nature, reach out to us. Go to our Facebook page, locallegislator.net. Well, not .net, but local legislator, our Facebook page. We can be found on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and check out our YouTube channel for this recording and the previous ones. Again, I'm Charles Gates. This is locallegislator.net, where our mission is to be the premier source of local election information in the United States and an advocate for the sustainability of local businesses nationwide. And remember, we're not global, we're local. Locallegislator.net. We will see you tomorrow at 11. Owen Norris, again, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
listeners, for being here. And we will see you tomorrow. Take care.